Welcome back to KingWoes Court, episode 33 and bound. Woo! And I have a very special guest. All of my guests are very special, of course. Before we go on, you know that we are on the Dynamo Podcast Network, and try and like, share, and subscribe the shit out of that, please, because we do it all for you folks, of course. But tonight, of course, it's all about the metal and the rock and Irish in general. Because that's my main bread and butter, of course, as everyone knows. And tonight we have a gentleman from a band who are making waves. Pretty much, I can see big things happening for these folks. And we have Korey from Greyface. How are you, my man?
I'm great. Thank you for having me on as well.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's always. I mean, the way I am, I want to see as many Irish bands doing as well as possible. So any Irish band wants to come onto my show, they're always more than welcome,
That's great to hear. It's great to have that sort of support as well, where people can come on and just talk about their shit, what they're doing, and, promote themselves. It's great.
You might hear me barging in now and again, so apologies in advance.
That's perfectly fine, man. That's great.
So, Greyface, when I heard of you first, I think you played in the Metal to the Masses. Am I right?
Metal to the Masses. We actually never got to Metal to the Masses. We played the equivalent for Vakken.
That's what it was. The Battle Metal or something.
The Metal Battle. Yeah, that was the one that we did.
And you won that, didn't you?
We did, yeah. We ended up playing.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later on.
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's not blow our load just yet, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, Korey, your name is it Ealu? Ealu?
Ealu, yeah.
Right, so everyone in the band has a pseudonym, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of like a name that we've kind of adopted. I don't know, it kind of came to us when we started the band, and I think everyone has their own meaning attached to their names specifically. Yeah. So yeah, Ealu is my one, which is Irish for escape. It's actually not deep at all. The funny thing is that I was on the bus. This is the story behind the name. Truthfully, I was on the bus, and I saw the escape emergency exit sign on the bus, and it said Ealu, and I said it, and I was like, that sounds sick. That sounds class. And I just looked at it, and I was like, right, you know what? That's going to be my name.
So you're always in a permanent state of escape, are you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it ended up working fairly well, but it came from just having a look on the bus, like.
Man, the shit that happens on buses is great. It really is.
Man, the amount of inspiration that comes off just being on the bus is ridiculous.
I could tell you some stories, but I better not. So who else have we got? Tell me who else that we have in the band, and tell me their band name, I suppose you could say, because it is and I want you to explain the whole premise of that as well, if you can.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like it has two things. It has its own meaning to everyone individually, of course, and also with our image, the visual aspect of the band. It would be pretty funny if we just went by Roy or Sean or Oisín and the way that we do. Which are the other members of the band, by the way? Oisín is our bassist, and his stage name is Evra.
Okay.
Sean is our guitarist. His stage name is Icarus, and Roy, who's our vocalist, his name is Shay when he goes on stage. And I think the meaning of the names kind of changes for everyone over like time as well, because like obviously it started as, well, for me, I could speak about my own one.
Of course.
Looking on the bus, that's the origin of it, but now it's kind of adopted its own. I mean, music, music is an escape, and you can attach that to pretty much any form of self-expression, but for me that's what it is. So it just makes sense.
I think it's cool and a little bit unique that you're doing that, but I know like people, there's like Virgin, what are they called, the Virgin, I can't remember
the Virgin
the Virgin
Converters.
That's the one. And then you have like all that kind of, it's I think it's great to add something into a performance, because like there's so many bands who may not necessarily do that, and so just to give something a little bit extra for your crowd is, I think it's admirable if you can pull it off good. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we say though. I mean, the only thing that matters is the show, and that's kind of what we're all about, to be honest. The full, the visual aspect. The live shows are very high intensity,
Yeah.
and we're always pushing to have more. I don't want to say theatrics because it makes you think of whatever like Queen did theatrics very well,
Yeah.
like Bowie and people like that. But something else that's not just the music. Something that is visually pleasing as well as like sonically.
It's very hard to find that balance, especially in today,
Yeah.
because there's so many bands that have done so much. It's very hard to find something genuinely good and new, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose everything's kind of been done until you invent it. So,
Yeah.
and it is hard to find out. I'd like to think that we're definitely doing something that is not very often seen in this country anyway.
It's not seen. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And I mean that's a compliment, by the way.
Yeah, no, I'd take that as a compliment, and I'm sure the other lads would as well. So thank you.
Absolutely. So give me a little brief history on how you got together.
Yeah, so Roy and Sean were in a metal band in Dublin. It's called Afterlife to Ashes, R.I.P. the boys in Afterlife to Ashes. They played for a while. And then I joined near the end of that sort of cycle of the band. And then we decided that we just weren't really happy with the music that we were making. It's kind of what it came down to at the end. And then the new music that we started writing, like Underground Star, the song, our first single that we released a few months back, we wrote that song way back then. Like that song's been around for 3 or 4 years, I think now.
Cool song, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, very happy with how it came out. And that happened. We wrote that song, and then as we were starting to write more songs like that, we were thinking that, like, the name and all the old songs that we had didn't really correlate with what we were doing now and the new direction that we wanted to take it in. So then Greyface came out of that, our whole rebranding. We changed the logo, changed the name, and then Oisín joined, and then we had a new member. So that was, kind of a turning point then, that me and Sean and Roy had been playing for 2 years by that time. And then Oisín joined, but we'd have known him from, just being around Dublin and in the music scene and known boys from around. And he was in a band that was kind of coming to the end of its life as well.
Right.
So naturally he was interested in joining, and then he joined us, and the rest has just been, that's been it for us, really. Brilliant. And we haven't stayed the same.
Yeah, I mean, as Greyfaces are really, really fresh on the scene, aren't you?
Yeah, I suppose we've been Greyface. Well, you can't, before all this shit happened, we've been Greyface for 2 years.
Yeah, that's relatively fresh.
So, yeah, it's fairly fresh. And that was, I mean, that's all our gigging. We've only been gigging really for 2 years as Greyface.
Yeah.
And then, of course, everything's after going the way it is. So
everybody's screwed with it, aren't they?
Yeah, really. So I'll say 2 years to make it sound better. Probably 3 or 4 that it is now.
And where does Greyface come from? I mean,
Greyface is actually, we wrote a song called Greyface.
Right.
When After Ashes was a thing, and we wrote this song, and I suppose that kind of was the point where we were like, this sounds nothing like our old stuff at all. This is completely like whatever. This is completely subject, and you will hear that song eventually. It's in the pipeline. It's coming. But when that happened, when we wrote that song, we were like, right, we should probably change things up. And I actually don't know the word Greyface. Roy just wrote the song and he called it that. And that was one of the words in it. And we were like, I didn't question it, to be honest. I just said, I was like, that sounds cool. So then when we were looking for names, that just stuck. Just out of everything, we thought about everything before even looking. And then it was just as simple as like, let's look through all the songs that we've written.
Yeah.
And then saw that one, we were like, actually, that could work. And here, well, we haven't changed it again anyway. It's stuck.
When something feels right, it you know, it's hard to get it out of your head.
Yeah. Of course, it was weird when you've had the name for so long to change it, but it was the one that felt the least weird at the time. So
I like short little names, even though the name of my band is like Two Tails of Woe, but great, like so when if you can get a one name thing in, I don't know, it's Greyface, but it's all one word, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's all one word.
Yeah, I like that. I think it's cool. You know, people's attention spans these days aren't as big as they used to be, and I don't mean that in a bad way against people, but people want instant stuff now. You know, yesterday.
100%. Yeah, that's.
You know, like, I mean, I don't think you get away nowadays with a band name like Annual Nose Put a Trail of Dead. You know what I mean?
Probably not, no, because people would stop reading after the second word and
and
not give it a listen.
Yeah, like I'm considering shortening my band name to TTOW. You know, I'm not just.
That was with Afterlife to Ashes. We were just gonna be like, all right, how about we just call ourselves ATA and then just have it as ATA, and then that's the name of the band.
Yeah,
and then we came to our senses.
Exactly. I'm glad you did.
Yeah, but that was like the front runner for a while.
Oh yeah, no, like, and that's it. Like, yeah, I mean, we're all trying to, I suppose, you know, improve things for people.
Yeah.
In our music and our performance. Of course, we're writing for ourselves primarily, and then anyone else, it's a bonus, really.
It's a huge bonus. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get even 3 or 4 people come back to you and say that your song meant even anything to them, I mean, that's what it's all about, I suppose.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, big time. So, where are you based, actually? Sorry.
Dublin and Meath. So we rehearse in Ashburn. Well, it's basically Dublin. Sure, it's only
it's going to be Dublin in the next 10 years. Don't worry.
It's going to be Dublin. It's just going to consume the general Meath area. Yeah. So yeah, we rehearse in Ashburn. Sean and Roy are both from Dublin, and then myself and Nusheen are from Meath. So
it's not, that's relatively okay, actually, when you think about it, in terms of being able to jam.
Oh yeah, no, it's fairly. Yeah, no, it's great. It's great, and we have a warehouse space that's like our HQ, which is great because we can go up whenever we want, and
deadly.
You know,
and when you have stuff like that, it's good to have it. You know.
Yeah, no, it makes things 10 times easier. We're incredibly lucky in that.
Yeah, well, I mean, just keep, using that space to the best of your ability. I mean, if there's space to do videos, I'm sure you do them there, or
Yeah, we have. Well, we've filmed a fair few things in there. Still things to come out.
Cool.
But it's great. Yeah, no, it's just a great creative space. Awesome. That's ours.
That's cool. So give me an idea of somebody, like, this is what I wanted you to take me by the hand with and guide me through the influences of Greyface and the vibe of Greyface. So give me a little rundown on that.
Right, so influences is actually, I feel like you could ask us a top 10 and there might be 1 or 2 the same, and people will just have completely different ones. I know that's probably the case for a lot of people, but like,
well, just throw some names at me there for.
I know. I think for like our sound, I think kind of Rage Against the Machine is like, we all really enjoy Rage Against the Machine, so that's like where I'll put it in the middle. And also like Gojira are just great, and they're an influence now, especially in some of the new stuff that we're writing. There's a lot of that, that kind of heavy, but not, compromising, like meaning and stuff like that. They have like a perfect balance of like having something to say and also just having great music.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I'd say Marilyn Manson's definitely a huge influence. Not even like aesthetically, but I know Sean and Roy are really, they just love his music and they have for years.
Cool.
And then you have Roy and I are very influenced by like most rap music.
Oh, right. Okay.
They're like common ground there, like people like MF Doom, and I know Eminem was a big inspiration to him when he was younger. He's gonna hate that I said that. But like that, you know, like the kind of experimental side of it, like, you know, people like Danny Brown and again Earl Sweatshirt and Tyler the Creator and people like that, and they're like, especially Tyler the Creator, he's bringing this like artistry that you rarely see in like pop stars now and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and it is almost like it's kind of punk. It's some of the stuff that he's doing, like the way that he's, you know, it's kind of, he's doing it all himself. Obviously now he has a lot of money, but he has very vivid ideas, and
Yeah.
like his visual aspect of like his thing is great, and that's a big influence to us. But yeah, kind of everything, I suppose. A lot of electronic stuff as well. The Prodigy, we all love the Prodigy.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing that's being introduced now to our new music, is we're kind of trying to go that side of it as well, but not, you know, rock bands and then they just add synths and then they're like, oh, we've changed the sound.
Yeah.
You know, that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to, you know, have it organically, as organic as we can, blend in both what we were doing before and like this new found like love for electronic music.
So almost like an organic evolution of your sound, you know?
Oh, well, yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
I like that because
Yeah, like
it challenges. Yeah, it means you get to challenge yourself. If you have that mindset, you can challenge yourself then to the nth degree, which is, I think it's great. Like, I mean, I know my limits. Well, I'm a lot older than you anyway, and I know my limits, and I'm comfortable sitting within them. But then I love hearing a band like yourselves who are willing to go above and beyond and seeing what they can try to that sounds, as we said, as close to unique as possible, really. You know, and hearing all those influences would make me excited for hearing more.
Yeah, that's it, man. Because like, I think we all believe, like, I mean, once you get like, you can't get bored of like your sound, or you can't be like, what am I trying to say? If you get comfortable, I feel like we all feel like if you get too comfortable, that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Maybe that we're always trying to push what we can do, and when you go into, you know, the electronic side of things, now you have like four people. You have bass, guitar, drums, and vocals, but then all of a sudden you could have 400 instruments on a track if you wanted to, and that's like a large soundscape. And there's so many things. It's like, I think it's a good thing and a bad thing, I suppose, because like you have unlimited access to all these different noises.
Yeah.
That sometimes you might not know what to do with them, but that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to, you know, kind of reel it in so that it sounds, as you said, like organically evolving from what we were making before.
Yeah. I think that's fantastic. I really do, man. I really do. So he has had many, like, who's in the Irish metal scene, who would you be into? Like, is there any bands that you really like? Or
I'm trying to think. I love Stone Sea. I just love them, man. I don't know if you know Stone Sea, do you?
No, but I'll check them out. Absolutely.
They're like a sludge, like stoner band. They're great, but they have a lot of like world music influences, because he's from Brazil, and there's like a lot of Latin stuff that they just throw in, and it's just great. It's all very genre bending. So let me try and think. Oh, Scathed, we were talking about before, they were on your show. And we played gigs with them, and they were great. Yeah. Really enjoyed playing with them as well. Irish band. Well, those are two that I can name off the top of my head anyway. That recently, you know, that I've been listening to, and I know the rest of the lads. Even someone like there's a group called Makings. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're more on the electronic side.
Okay, Makings
as well. Makings, yeah. I think they released a song a few days ago, but they're we've played a few gigs with them as well, and they're really, really good. It's all very like, it's all like synth pop, but it's kind of dark.
Right,
like so it's heavy in that sense. It's real good stuff though. It is. You should definitely check them out.
Yeah, I will actually. Remind me again when we're off air.
Oh yeah, I will.
But Stonesea sound like I could be
They're
definitely into
great.
that now.
Yeah, they're a great band.
Have you ever heard of a band called Intronaut?
Intronaut? I don't think so. No.
That's your band for this week to check out. I do this now. I'm trying to give each guest a band they've never heard of.
Yeah, that's Intronaut. What type of stuff?
It's heavy, but like there's different time changes, but it's not always fast. Like, you know what I mean? It's good. Like that's all I could really. It's almost like I wouldn't say toned down Gojira, but yeah, they would be toned down, but in approach that kind of like them, but more progressive, as in
Like
prog
heavy,
style. They're heavy, but like they have a song called Milk Leg. Check that one out. That's the one I like.
That is anything Gojira, I'm all over, man. I just love them.
Now I don't want you texting me now saying, "What are you talking about? They're not like fucking Gojira at all." There's only it's the approach more so than the sound.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I get that. I'll keep that in mind when I'm giving them a look.
Yeah. So you're playing drums. How long are you playing drums, man?
I think it's 10 years. I think I've been playing drums. I started when I'm 10. I'm only just after turning 20.
Oh my
God,
you're a baby.
10 years now, yeah. I'm the youngest member of the band as well, so I'm the baby in the band, which is great.
And what got you into drumming? Who or what? Do you know what I mean?
Who or what? There's a lot of my uncle is a guitarist, and then I remember being like, I want to play guitar as a kid, and my parents were very, very, very supportive of whatever I wanted to do. So they were like, yeah, sure, we'll go and get you guitar lessons. And I ended up going into the spot and held a guitar, and I was just, it was huge. It was massive. I didn't have like a smaller guitar, and I tried to play, and they were like, how about you try something like the drums? I don't think the guitar is really working for you. You might be too small. And I went in and picked up a pair of sticks, and that was it.
Lovely.
And then that started me then, and I was like, all right, this is it.
And how did the parents feel about getting the drummer into the band, into the family? I mean,
oh, they love it. They absolutely just love. When gigs were happening, they'd come to basically all of them. They really love the music. They love everything about. They've always been really supportive, so it's just great. I'm very, very lucky in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, I've always like my when I say my family, I mean my partner and my children are very supportive. But my actual kind of will say my uncles and aunts and whatever else, they would never have been really supportive because I played metal, Yeah. And you'd be at family parties, and they'd be like, because I'd be singing at family party because I love all music. It's just metal's my favorite, But they'd be like, why don't you stop singing that heavy metal stuff, And I'm like, because I like it, I love it, So we all get that. We all get that from our family, at some point. But you're lucky that you've got a supportive family. So,
but I mean, my dad was a metalhead, so he can't really say anything to me, to be honest with you. And my mom's just like, she's into whatever, like, doesn't really bother her as long as it's music.
So tell me this, what was the idea of the personas, the makeup and all? Was that in the band before you started with the lads, didn't you? Yeah.
I joined kind of at the end. I'd say they were going for about a year before I joined.
Right, okay.
The makeup thing was introduced by Roy. He was not the original vocalist, but he came in and he introduced a makeup thing. And I think at the start it was definitely because we're all younger. It was the underage band scene. Back when Fibbers still did underage shows.
Yeah.
Back then, that it was kind of just to stand out from the other bands on the bill, I suppose.
Yeah.
And I know Roy, because he was studying theatre in UCD, and he's very much about the show. He's the one that kind of came into the band when they were setting up and was like, look, it's going to be, we're going to focus on this aspect, as well as like the music's good, but need to give someone a show. You need to give people a reason to talk about you after you're done. That's not just the music. So then when I came in, then I'd known about the band just from around. So, and I was always, I just loved to play drums for these guys. It was just one of those things. And then I eventually got to, which was great. And that was the same story with Ushin, except that wouldn't have been until a year later.
Yeah.
But then I think when the music started changing and we started changing the name, it was like, maybe there is a reason that we are doing this.
Yeah.
And there definitely is. I think it's a lot more. It's why people wear masks. You know, like people who do on stage, or any sort of like, you know, changing how you look from day to day. It's because I think for us, I mean, we're not how we are day to day when we're on stage. Definitely, it's not. I know for a fact that I wouldn't be sitting down and, you know, having a conversation right now if I was in that mindset, because it's just a different thing. It's just like I don't know. You just get to like just be the music, just be what's happening. You know, like you don't have to worry about Korey as I am now, sitting here, you know, thinking about what people think. You can just do it. You can just become it, like, and it's liberating. It's freeing because you can kind of do whatever you want, and it's not like people are going to look at you weird because like now I'm, you know, sitting down and chatting to you normally, you know. And it kind of separates it. It's but I think it is needed. I think we all kind of need it. It's like an escape from, to use the word escape again, it's like a you know, like I don't know, it's freeing, it's liberating, I think.
I think the closest I get to that, like, you know, is I have certain t-shirts I wear on stage, you know.
Yeah.
Although for special occasions, years ago, I used to dress up as a clown. On stage, it was great crack. You know, I remember I was playing one gig and there was a woman there and she came over to me after my set and she goes, "I'm sorry to ask you this, but could you do me a favor?" I was like, "Yeah." She goes, my friend is absolutely terrified of clowns. Can you just go over and show her that like you're just a normal person? I was like, "Why would you do that to your friend? She's petrified of fucking clowns." Like, and it's not like I look like a fucking nice clown, you know what I mean? So
I
go over to this woman and of course she has her back to me, and like no matter what way it's gonna end badly, like, you know,
it's gonna end bad.
I tip her on the shoulder and goes, "Hey, my name's Carl," and she looks around and goes, "Ah!" She threw a lot of drink over me by accident, like, you know, and I was like, yeah,
her friend knew
that worked.
Yeah, her friend knew exactly what she was doing.
Yeah, she didn't help me anything, I can tell you.
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say she got the result that she wanted, though.
Yes, fucker. So we have a new single out today, and I say today because I'm going to do my best to have this edited and put up this evening. So cool. Awesome, yeah, and I have to say, cheers to Oren for passing me on the single, and thanks to you guys for letting me hear it as well, because it's very different from Underground Star, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is. It really is. Thank you for listening to it as well.
Absolutely. I'm not going to come into this blind, you know what I mean? Or deaf, so to speak. So this one is called Dead Men Don't Walk in Circles.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, and it's kind of a brooding kind of type thing. I don't know. I like it.
It's reworked. It was an old song that was just it was a demo that we made, or that was made even before I was in the band. It was just vocals and guitar. There were no drums, there was no nothing else, and that was it. And the song had been written, and then we were getting together, like we wanted to just record, you know, go into a proper studio and just record things.
Yeah.
And we were looking at all the songs that we had written. And now, if anyone else, no, it was my idea. This is what I'm trying to say, and it's not before. It was my idea. I said to the lads, I was like, "Look, how about we rework this song?" And the lads were like, "Actually, maybe." And we had to go with it. And Sean, who's our guitarist, he plays violin. He's a great violin player, and he played violin on the track. And he brought in his violin one day to rehearsal. and he just started playing, and we were like, right, we have to do this. This is just, we have to rework this in some way. And then we started college, and we met Tig, who's featured on the track, and he plays piano, and he is just incredible. And he just took the thing to a completely different level. Like we decided to take out the guitar, then the acoustic guitar start, and then just make it like a piano piece. Essentially, I think he makes the song.
It's awesome.
To be honest with you,
yeah, the way it's put together, it's pretty cool. I have to say.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's cool, man. So, where did you record it? Sorry, Corey. Where did you record it?
We recorded. So there's two versions of it currently. There's one that's not out, and then there's the one that is out. And we re-recorded the song. So the one that's out now is a re-recorded version of the song. Because there were a few things that we weren't happy with in the original. So we recorded this one in Windmill Lane with a good mate of ours, who named Fionn, and he's a great producer, and he helped us immensely with the recording process. And yeah, we recorded in Windmill Lane. That was so that's the version that's out now. And then we spent a while, kind of comping all the parts together, getting the best bits.
Yeah.
And that's the version that's there.
Nice. Well, what we're going to do is at the end of the show, I'm going to play it. And so people, if they haven't heard it, they'll hear it from tonight. So,
yeah. Sounds good to me.
I know we're going to wrap up in a minute, but you played at Wacken. Tell me how that went.
Yeah. Oh, that is. Do you want the honest story? Because it did not go well. It did not go.
Give me the honest story.
Not go to plan. Right. So here's the story. The story is we were there for the week, and the metal. What was it called? The metal battle. Yeah. That was on. No, I'm going to get this wrong. I think it was on from Wednesday until Friday. Okay. So we were there from Monday, and we were the last band on Friday. So we were the last band of the whole thing, which was great, and we had a great time up until half an hour before we were meant to go on. There was a huge thunderstorm.
Oh no!
The entire camp, and we had to wait in these cars that they had that were going to bring us to the stage. And we were sitting there, and the boys are on the radio talking to the guys that are backstage, and they're they're speaking in German, and I can bet it. And then he turns around to us and he goes, look, they want to cancel the metal battle because it's after being delayed, and there's acts that are actually playing the festival on the same stage, and they have to get their slots or whatever. So they're like, yeah, we might be canceling the metal battle. And we were like, oh shit. After coming, so it's the last day or the second last day that we're there. We're in the van, and we're like, shit. But then one of the lads backstage, I don't know who he was, absolute legend though, was like, look, the people are after coming from every country that entered in this competition. We're not going to let them not play after it being on the last day. So we get our slot, but they're like, look, it's very, very tight for time. So we go on, and it just does not go to plan. Just everything kind of falls apart. And then we end up going slightly over time, and then the boys are shouting at us at the side of the stage. We're like, shit. And there was we ended up, at the end of it, I think we thought it was a lot worse than it actually was. But looking back at it now, it's just funny just to talk about the whole situation.
Yeah.
The storm we completely shat the bed. I'm not trying to sugarcoat that. We definitely did not play the best gig that we've ever played, when we probably should have played the best gig that we've ever played, being that we were in there. But that was such a learning curve. Because we got home, and I think everyone was feeling a bit down, and then we played a gig. Where was it? In the Bellow Bear.
Oh yeah.
And it went amazing. And then afterwards we were like, you know what, maybe we needed that. Maybe we needed something like that just to,
Well, anything
get us
like
up.
that, any experience like that, I would always, me personally, take it and not overly dissect it and then make something out of it. Like, yeah, it's a learning curve. So yeah, it was a big deal for you to do it, but at the same time, you got something positive from it that is
Oh yeah,
honing
definitely.
your craft. Do you know what I mean? So,
And if nothing, I mean, some pretty funny jokes about it the whole time. So even if we didn't learn nothing from it, we still have that. It's still a positive experience.
hey, you still played vacuum. Put it that way.
Still played Vakin. As long as no one sees the video, we're fine.
I'm gonna go looking for that now.
It's I look. I wish you could, but the stream got taken down. I don't know when it got.
No way.
But, yeah.
Well, fair play, anyways, for playing it, and I mean, yeah, you have that, as you said, you put that for a story now.
Oh yeah, it was a great experience, though. It was great just just to be there, as you said. It is a funny story, but we did play it back, and I mean, it's still a good it's something that
it's an achievement.
Yeah, it's an achievement. Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
something that.
So look, Korey, we're going to end now, if that's all right with yourself.
That is grand.
But before we go, what I want you to do is, let's say you had a 4-band bill to put on, including Greyface. So you have 3 other bands to pick.
Right.
Any bands you wish. Okay, and you don't have to put them in order. So.
Okay. Any bands.
Any bands you like that this is Greyface's dream lineup for a gig.
Oh.
You don't have to headline. You just don't have to be headlining.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that we would be now. Out of all the bands I'm going to pick, well, definitely Gojira. Definitely, the Gojira have to be on it. And then I'd say Korn and Deftones.
That's fab. So let's try and work this out now. Yous open up.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
For longevity, it would probably have to be Gojira, then Deftones and Korn, probably, wouldn't it?
Probably, yeah. I feel like you could kind of swap though, because I mean, both Korn and Deftones they've been around forever.
Yeah.
So I feel like that both of them, it wouldn't be unjustified putting any of those guys in the headliners.
Well, actually, if you had, like, say, a 10-day run of that 4-band lineup, the 3 other bands could rotate.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I would love to just see that gig, not even play, let alone play it. I'd love to just be there.
But imagine it'd be great to experience that each night of the tour. Like,
that would be incredible. That's like the goal. That's the dream.
Well, you keep pushing for that goal, brother.
Oh, 100%. 100%. We're not going to stop.
Excellent. Korey, it's been absolutely cool chatting to you tonight. Thanks for taking the time, man.
Man, thank you. Honestly, thank you for this. This was great.
Yeah, and give my well wishes to the whole band, won't you?
I will indeed. I will. Excellent.
KingWoes Court, episode 33. We are gone from the court now, and we will see you again next time. Adios.
Today, another dream, another broken face. Oh God, the devil says why not? Oh hell, the 7 is a prison cell. Burnt ash and makeup to make you cry. Bright glitter running down your eyes, but your laugh reminds me of the past that few remind me of. You can't you see that we're hopeless? Can't you see that we're hopeless? And we don't choose, we don't lose, we win when we die. Hey, hey. We don't choose, we don't lose, we burn like the stars in your eyes. We live like animals today, and another dream, another way to taste. Oh God, the devil says why not? Oh hell, a body makes a quick sell. More pretty paper to make you high. Each day's another waste of time. It's your laugh reminds me of the past. The view remind me of you. Can't say that we're hopeless. Can't see that we're hopeless. And we don't choose, we don't lose, we win when we die. We don't choose, we don't lose, we burn like the sun in your
holding on to. He's an user. He's not like us. So we're a priest and he's different. He's not perfect.